Hello, everyone. So, in continuation of our series, wherein we had started our discussion about what after CA, right? What are the career opportunities for a chartered accountant, and wherein we just tried to put it under five buckets over there that either you could be opting for a job, or you could be, yes, doing your own, setting up your own practice, or starting your own business, or you could be getting into teaching activities, or you could be continuing your studies, that is going for any further studies, right? So we have Yatharth Baphna, who has again found his precious time to, yes, join us again today for our discussion. And yes, Yatharth, we are very keen to know regarding what is our discussion going to be about today.
Correct. So after making a choice between the five heads which we have, and also keeping in mind that we can maybe tap in multiple heads together, like you can do a job and probably you can study together. So
Yeah.
today we'll focus on jobs as to what exactly comes in job, and how you'll have to go about it. Starting like in jobs, first you'll have to pick up the profile where you want to work in, and second would be the company which offers that profile which you are interested in.
Yeah.
So talking about profiles, correct. So talking about the profiles first, there are different. So we can probably bucket it into two major streams. One would be profiles related to industry, and second probably could be profiles related to service sectors.
Yeah.
Talking about service sector first, or the service lines, there could be consultancy, there could be audits, there could be probably investment banking services, there could be private equity, and these are the major streams. Going down audits could be in, like tax audit. It can altogether it could be a corporate tax practice, it could be international tax transfer pricing. Audit would be what typically statutory audits which which are available at Big Fours and other firms like Grant Thornton BDO. There could be other services which these firms offer, in terms of valuations, in terms of advisory, in terms of performance improvement, and these are the different services. And on consultancy, there's another wing which usually which is very lucrative. All those buzz around management consultancy.
Yeah.
The top three firms, MBB, which we call them McKinsey, Bain, and BCGA. They could be other firms like Accenture, even EY, and these firms also provide management consultancy services. So that is another profile which we can consider. That would be on the service stream. Second, which is industry. Industry could involve typical jobs like FP&A role. FP&A is financial planning and analysis role. They could be they could be accounting roles where you prepare your financial statements. There could be nowadays there are management trainee programs where you get an exposure of multiple functions in an organization. Then you choose one function amongst just, and you continue your career there. So there could be those programs. There could be some strategic roles where usually this is very common in startups,
Mm-hmm.
where the new ventures and the startup companies offer you strategy role to grow their business. There, then you can probably work in banks. Banks and altogether is very different in terms of different profiles which you have there at banks. So
Okay.
these are the broad categories of profiles where you can work in.
Yeah, so what I basically further can put a point into this as service is where we can be providing our services to multiple clients. Our client base would be like a multiple client base over there. Like
Correct.
you could be doing the mergers and acquisitions, or you could be providing investment banking or services to many different clients, either working with a
Correct.
big four, or as you said, working with Bain or McKinsey or so. And on the other hand, if you join the industry, then you are like looking into, say, the SAP implementation of a particular organization, or you are like the chief internal auditor working on the internal controls in a particular organization. So it's like whether you're going on a single track, or whether you want a multicolored basket or multi-profile role. Accordingly, a profile. So here, what first point when we are talking about a job is we are talking about the profile, and in the profile we need to check whether we want to go into for the service or whether we want to go for the industry. Great.
Correct.
So yeah.
Now moving forward, one of the sources to know what, for example, I say FP&A, I say treasury. One important, source to know what these exactly are, while your articleship, when you were auditing your clients,
Yeah.
probably you would be in touch with, different people with different spokes in treasury, different spokes in FP&A, different spokes in payroll processing, and these. So there you can actually see what a person actually works in, what exactly is treasury, maybe managing hedging risks and all those things. You can get into their profile as to what exactly they do.
Or
And
like
also
yeah. Many a times during articleship, when you are being told to check the PPE, the property plant equipment, or the inventory register, so you go to that particular manager in the company and you come to know that, oh, this manager, he is a chartered accountant, but what he's looking into is only the PPE register. He looks into the entire capitalization, he's looking into the CWIP, all the capital purchase order, so some new plant under plant, some new setting up of a plant. So that's how we come to know about the role. So that is, you can visualize from your articleship, these are the type of roles that we are talking about over here.
Correct,
Yeah.
absolutely. And after deciding, the profile which you are interested in,
Yeah.
you have to look after, what companies provide you opportunities in that profile. For example, if you're interested in investment banking, then there would be JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. There would be some tier two, or some smaller firms, some Indian firms like there are different firms which provide these investment banking services to the clients, and these would be profiles. Another thing which you have to consider in mind while deciding on the profile and the company where you would be interested in would be, first would be the city, and second probably would be the growth trajectory. For example, I decide that I want to work, for example, in industry, for example, in ITC. Now ITC typically offers jobs in southern part of India. The postings are usually, because ITC is a South Indian based company,
Yeah.
so they offer the job locations is probably southern part of India. You'll have to also consider which company provides which location. For example, a lot of companies are Gurgaon based, so probably they'll ask you to shift
Shift
Delhi
to
or Gurgaon.
Gurgaon.
So that you'll have to consider the location and the city where you want to live in. Second would be the growth trajectory. For example, if you are looking for a very high growth trajectory, high speed growth, and all the fast track career and those things, so probably consultancy and service sector altogether would be a better place for you as compared to industry. Industries, though industry would be more of, though the starting money which you'll get would be more probably in industry, but the growth is stagnant at around 8 to 10%, and these are the
Yeah.
average growth rates.
Yeah.
Second, for example, you look up for, there could be, if you see it from a larger, or a longer perspective, then nowadays what people do is, they work in service industries for 4 5 years, and then they jump to industry. That way you can reach at a higher, you join
Position.
industry at a higher level. For
Higher
example, if you
level.
join industry, it will take you probably 7 8 years to become a finance controller. But once you work for 3 or 4 years as an auditor, and then you switch to industry, so probably even in 4 years you can become the financial controller there, because you have a 4 year experience of service sector.
And by
That way,
that time, you've
all
developed your contacts also over there working. So.
correct, correct, correct.
So that will also be beneficial. So yeah, as a city, so it would be mainly whether you want to be in your hometown, if you're in a tier one, tier two city, whether you want to continue being over there with your family, or whether you're looking forward to, go to a metropolitan city or any big city for that matter, being away from home. Then you need to think about the work-life balance, the expenditure, the package, and the amount of expenditure. Or maybe already during articleship you've had the experience of being away from home, so whether you want to continue on the same path track. So because I think once post qualification you go away from home, there is no looking back. At least after articleship or after CA, once you come back you might stay back home, but once post qualification, I think once you spread out your wings, I think you are all good to go around the entire world after that. So either you want to go with me for your hometown or for a metro city within the country, or also you could be getting a lot of overseas opportunities. Like, so chartered accountants
Right.
are in great demand outside India also, like Dubai and even the UK, and so they do great recruitment. They are in great need of chartered accountants over there. And then obviously the bigger the city, the higher the amount of growth over there. But we can't just see the one time growth, we have to see the long term projection or the 10-year horizon for the same also.
Correct.
Yeah.
Adding on to your long-term horizon, which we need to have, we can also we should also keep in mind what ultimately we want to do. For example,
Yeah.
you want to do a master's, you have decided you want to study further, but before that you want to have a 2 3 years ka hands-on experience. So
Experience.
probably
Yeah.
you can join a service sector, which will not only help you to get a exposure of multi industries, but also in these schools there's some what I'll say, not quota, but you get some added points when you work with Big Four, or you work with MBB and these firms. So that you can keep in mind if you ultimately look to start your own business. So probably joining that way, which through, where you can develop your business acumen. For example, as an auditor, you
Yes.
develop the business acumen, you develop the industry knowledge and stuff. So probably those would be better as compared to industry jobs. So you have to keep that in mind. Secondly, the various profiles and the various companies where where the opportunities are available. There are different sources. First, probably could be the seniors or your peers who you can directly ask them, what are the opportunities, because your seniors would have researched at their time.
Yeah.
What are the different companies, what are the different profiles available. If seniors and profiles, that is using your own personal network. Second, probably could be searching on LinkedIn. For example, I want to look at investment banking. So LinkedIn, if I search investment banking, so I'll get a list of all the people working as investment bankers, and the companies they're working at, the degrees which they have, their growth trajectory. For example, a person becoming maybe a partner in 20 years or 15 years, you can evaluate all those factors and make a decision accordingly. Searching on LinkedIn, you can search on LinkedIn company specific. For example, I look at ITC. That will not only help you to get to know about the companies and profiles, you can also reach them through message, and you can ask them what exactly they do. For example, if you don't know what exactly a profile means.
Yeah.
Thirdly, could be simply YouTubing the company's name or the profile name, or those key terms, and you can go through what exactly it means. So personal network, LinkedIn, and YouTube would be three major sources through which you can
Yeah.
get information. People post about their experiences. You can also use Quora.
Cool.
Quora again is a platform where people usually are very active in posting about their experiences and stuff.
Yeah. And one fourth one, which I think could be added over there, is also the campus placement. So even, yeah,
Right.
that could be a source from where you could get the, companies which you're looking for. Look into that, the type of company and the role and the strategy and all that you've thought of so far. So you talk about it with your seniors. You come to know that one of your colleague has recently joined ITC or has recently joined Mahindra. So you ask them how did they get into it or so. Or then again, as you said, the campus placement of ICI or any other private portals, from there also you can come to know which are the companies which are recruiting chartered accountants. Right.
Correct.
So
Just lighting upon the ICI campus placements, they give you an exhaustive list of companies with their locations, with their job profile, with the CTC details, and you have to then select 4 or 5 companies on which you want to appear interview. So that again becomes very important source to know about what are the different companies who offer jobs or who want CA freshers. So yeah, even that
okay.
would be helpful.
Yeah.
So once you decide on the profile and the company where you want to work on, probably the first step would be preparing the CV. Now you know your destination, you are at the start point.
Yeah.
What you have to do is draw down a map for you, and the route would again start from your CV. That would be the first document which will go, and once you get shortlisted, then the interviews and the other procedures would start.
Right.
So you'll have to focus on CV. Broadly speaking, CV needs to be a one-pager document nowadays. It is more preferred that if it's a one-pager document, if you can squeeze it into a page, a document, it could be it has to be simplistic, not very designy and graphy. It has to be simplistic, sober.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
this is how broadly
it has to be. So it's like, all these days, always while studying for the CA course, have been daydreaming about, oh, I will do a job. So now it's like, okay, job seems like an easy word as just to say, what I want to do after CA, I want to do a job. But now getting into the detailing, so Yatharth, you've really put it very well. I think many students would not have been aware. Okay, this is something like you need to look out for a profile. So your knowledge really would be very, very beneficial for all the students, that you need to look for a profile. You need to see whether you want to go for service, industry, then which city, trajectory, then for, the growth trajectory, then from where can I get all this information. And once you've done so much of the, what you say, shortlisting over there, you have like, say one or two main companies I would have decided, and say one or two backup also. Okay, if ye nahi to plan A, nahi to plan B. And like I would prefer to work as an investment banker, but if luck is hard, I might start with treasury or something like that. So like two,
and
three
not
options.
just that, not just keeping it as a backup, but also ultimately you'll get some interview experience, and probably what exactly you're looking for. Before that, if you appear in FOPA interview, you'll get some experience as to how to handle these HR
Yeah.
questions, and how do we go about it?
And you never know, probably that other option could have equally clicked, so you could, because it's
Correct,
just
correct.
a guess, right now. Like many students, I could say, they when they start, say they audit theory subject, but I assume that by the time they finish studying the subject, they quite start appreciating the standards on auditing, and they like studying ethics, and they say, oh, guilty and not guilty of professional misconduct. So, anyways, I know that you all students are done with ethics and don't want to listen more of the standards, and so, but yeah, something like that. So here also you have these options. So yes, in the next round of our video, I think you could have all guessed that the next discussion is going to be regarding the preparation of the CV and also then the interview. So that's going to be for the next video. So I hope all of you have, yes, found this information in this particular, yes, found the information to be useful, and look forward to see you all in the next video. Thank you, Yatharth, for joining us.
Thank you so much.